Hello friends, welcome back. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the critical hydraulic gradient. In the present lecture, we will discuss about the quicksand condition. Quicksand condition, or we are also can call it as a quick condition, or we can also call it as a boiling condition. You can say it as a or. That means wherever there is a upward seepage flow, then we have already seen that there might be a possibility that your effective stress will be equal to zero. Suppose, let us say if we are talking about the cohesionless soils, that means the quicksand condition is only applicable for the cohesionless soils. For cohesionless soils, what is the shear strength? We can express it as S will be equal to sigma dash into tan phi dash if you are writing in terms of the effective parameters. So at critical condition, what is happening? At critical condition, at critical condition, there might be a possibility that your effective stress will be equal to zero. If your effective stress will be equal to zero, that implies if it is a cohesionless soil, then your sigma dash is equal to zero, then your shear strength is also becoming equal to zero. Remember, this is only possible for the cohesionless soils. So if your shear strength is equal to zero, then the soil behaves like a boiling condition. The soil behaves like boiling water. That's why it is called it as a boiling condition. And also, as it is not having any shear strength, that's why it is also called as a quick condition. As this phenomenon is occurring in the in usually sands or cohesionless soil, then we are calling it as a quicksand condition also. That means what is the actual critical hydraulic gradient? The actual hydraulic gradient is nothing but a I divided by Z. Suppose if your hydraulic gradient, if it is comes greater than the critical hydraulic gradient, then only quick condition occurs. That means we have to make sure that your actual hydraulic gradient should be less than the critical hydraulic gradient. If once actual hydraulic gradient crosses the critical value, then obviously the quicksand condition will start occurring. So what will happen is that suppose if I'm considering a dam condition, let us assume if I'm talking about the gravity dam, and it is used to retain the water. So let us say here the water table retained is here, and at the tail point the water table is here. So what is happening? As it is an impervious material, the water cannot flow through it. So that's why what will happen? The water will seepage it, and then it will travel along the boundary condition, and when it will reach to the downward stream. As it is reaching the downward stream, here what is happening? Here the upward flow is happening. So once this actual gradient, this I value, if it is crosses IC, then the shear strength capacity will be equal to zero. That means here the soil is behaving like a boiling condition. That means here whatever the soil particles are there, those will be started eroded, and then they will keep on eroding, and then what will happen is that they will form some pipe shape, or they will keep on excavating the sand under the circular way like that, and then it will form it like a pipe shape. There will be a gap comes as the soil is eroded, that will be in the form of pipe condition. That's why it is called it as a piping. So to avoid this piping, we have to make sure that your hydraulic gradient should be less than the IC. So if you want to avoid that, we will use some factor of safety. So that's why here I can say the factor of safety, against quick condition, that I can say the factor of safety against piping, that will be equal to my critical hydraulic gradient divided by I value. we always make sure that our hydraulic gradient should be less than the critical hydraulic gradient. Okay. Suppose in the given question, if they are asking what is the minimum seepage head required, minimum seepage head required for causing quick condition. So that means how can we find out? That means what is the minimum seepage head required for the quick condition? So when the quicksand condition will occur when your I is greater than or equal to IC. So that means what is the minimum value? IC. How can I find out? I can find out this value by using the material properties. What are the material properties? We can say G minus 1 divided by 1 plus C. From this we can find out IC. And if you know the length of the soil sample, then we can say that IC that will be equal to H divided by Z. If you know the material properties, we can find out IC, and by using multiplying by the Z, we can find out the minimum head required for causing the quicksand condition. That means either they can ask you what is the critical hydraulic gradient, and also they may ask you what is the seepage head required for causing the hydraulic gradient. And also in some cases, you know what will happen, that they will give us the soil sample, let us assume, and imagine that the flow is happening in the upward direction, and what they have given is that in addition to this they have provided an external pressure of magnetic Q over the soil. Then here the question is, what is the minimum head required for causing the seepage? What is the minimum head required for causing seepage? So how can you find out when the seepage will occur? When your effective stress is equal to 0. What is the effective stress? We have seen gamma dash into Z if the length of the sample is Z, minus gamma W into H. H is nothing but a difference in the head loss and difference in the water tables. And in addition to this, we are having the external stress that is acting in the downward direction. That means let us say plus Q also equal to 0. From this, if you can find out H, that is nothing but a Q plus gamma dash into H, Z divided by gamma W. So this is what the minimum head that is required for causing the quicksand condition. Okay. Depending on this, we can use all the conditions and then we can obtain the minimum head required for causing the seepage condition. Thank you.